talk about Venus in the fifth house. We've already looked at a lot of planets in the fifth house. We talked about the fifth house itself, and now it's the time to talk about Venus, the planet Venus in the fifth house. What does Venus stand for? It stands for romance, love, creativity, artistic objects, right? And that's what the fifth house is also about. So a person with Venus in the fifth house would have a lot of joy and fun in life, in their love life, and even regardless in their regular life, right? They are constantly called young at heart because that's the energy of Venus being a benefic in the fifth house. And they like to have that inner child alive at all times. They relish life. They always seek out joy in every situation, no matter what situation they are in. They are always trying to find out joy in it. They would always try to surround themselves with things of beauty, of artistic nature. They probably have grand homes. And even if they have smaller homes, they'll always have aesthetically pleasing objects around them, because that's Venus. That's what Venus stands for. Their homes, again, like I said, would be very pleasing to the eye, and they would want to surround themselves with art and music because that's Venus as well. And it's just, they find satisfaction from those subjects, right? Anything that's Venus oriented. Now, when it comes to children, people with Venus in the fifth house mostly have female children, most of the time. Now, sometimes they can have one or many, but I would say with Venus being a benefic in the fifth house, if it is well placed, then probably more than one daughter. So because Venus is a feminine planet, as opposed to Sun, which is masculine, right? Now, with Venus, it's a lot of grandness in everything, right? It's like, even if there's something very small, they like to be dramatic about it and grand about it. So that's one of the traits they would have. And also, when a native has his Venus in the fifth house, his character is very playful, right? And like a child. And they probably do something in life which has to do with that kind of a characteristic. And they're always called born romantics because Venus is the planet of romance and love. And also, like I said, in the fifth house, Venus gives an artistic ability. They not only like to surround themselves with artistic objects, they themselves have artistic and creative tendencies to take out into the world. And if it is a good Venus, it's nicely placed, then they could also get a lot of gains from it. And also, talking about gains, if there is a good connection between the fifth and the second house, like Venus is the ruler of the second, or it's conjunct the ruler of the second, or some kind of relationship with Venus and the second house, and if Venus is well aspected, then they could have a lot of gains from these creative pursuits, because second house is your house of finances and the house of what you own. So with Venus in the fifth house and having some kind of connection to the second house, there is a big possibility of gains in their life at some point. The native would have really good relationship with their children because Venus is a benefic, and this is again if there are no malefic aspects. It gives the native an appreciation of the fine art and the fine things in life, right? The beauty of the fine things in life. They can always appreciate it, okay? Now, when it comes to romantic relationships, these are characterized by lavish dates and luxurious gifts because again that's Venus, and fifth house is the house of dating and love life. So they more often than not they would want to buy good gifts and lavish and grand dramatic gifts for their better half. And they are also the native, you can see, will be very charming, and they can also on the flip side be easily charmed by the opposite sex. So it's the both of them work because with Venus in the fifth house. That's, I think, at a high level what Venus in the fifth house means. And now we look at a chart example. We will be looking at Walt Disney's chart as an example. He is an American entrepreneur, animator, voice actor, and film producer. And just, if you think about Venus in the fifth house, you can kind of see how Walt Disney's chart kind of fits the characteristic, because he was the mogul of the largest animation industry. So that playful side of his character, that child inside him, that's very, very evident from this chart with Venus in the fifth house. And you can also see that Venus is by itself in the fifth house, right? So that makes it even more stronger. And the other thing that I want you to notice is, remember how we talked about the connection between the second and the fifth house? So Venus here rules the second house of finances, right? So that's a very good example of the connection between the second and the fifth house, because he did make a lot of gains from the creative pursuits in his life, and that's very evident here, right? He became super rich by whatever he did. So that's the connection between the fifth house Venus and the second house, which is a very good example there. And he had daughters mostly, so that's another important thing to notice. So that's the example for Venus in the fifth house, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, we'll come back next week and talk about Saturn in the fifth house, which is also an interesting topic. It's a little more less happy than the Venus that we just saw, but it's still, it's hard work, it's perseverance, and everything that's Saturnian when it comes in the fifth house. So that's a really good video. So I hope you guys come back next week and watch that. Don't forget to subscribe and sound off in the comments. And I hope you have a great rest of the week. Bye.